What's up? It's your boy Los, JC, and JJ. Yo, today we got a special guest host. JJ is out. We got the man, the myth, the legend in the building, Matthew Lion Montalvo. What's up, Matthew?
What's going on, man? I always love this way you say my last name. It just rolls. It's like Montalvo. It's Montalvo. You say it like very, very jíbaro. It's a jíbaro thing.
Wait, am I saying it right, though?
A little, yeah, it's Montalvo. But it's
You
all right.
said a little. He said a little
bit, but kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of, no. No, just kidding.
Well, so with JC, what's going on?
What's up, JJ? Where you at, man? JJ's been traveling now, huh?
JJ went to New York City to rock the bell, so he was chilling over there with.
I saw that. He's
with,
being a
with
pure Puerto Rican out there.
Yeah, he's straight up.
He went to the concert?
He went to the concert, yeah.
You know, I saw the Lollapalooza thing one time, not at Lollapalooza, but when LL came and they had the live stream. I was at a restaurant watching him, bro. I was watching him for like a good hour of just straight smash hits. And I was like, LL had that many songs? I didn't remember it.
He did? I think he has 10 albums. Doesn't he have 10 albums?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's 10 albums.
Because he had one called 10. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting from there. Yeah, definitely. JC, what's up? You just, you're missing a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Where'd you come from?
I got a little color.
You got a little color?
I came from Mexico.
Mexico. What were you doing over there?
A little bachelor trip.
Hold on 1 second. We're going to show you what he was doing. Wow, bro.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of things out there.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you put a video out as well. Mm-hmm. Let me show that down, too. So how much fun were you having out there?
All the fun. I had 16 guys with me. Mm-hmm. The age group ranged from like 21 to 34 or 35.
Okay. Good group of guys.
Yeah, I'm 33. I'm like on an older scale, but I had my little brother who's 23, my little cousin who's 21. They carried the energy of the group. Every time the older guys started to get tired, they're like, "No, we're gonna go out," because we had an all-inclusive resort, so there was spots that were always open. So every time I was gonna go to the room, I'm like, "No, I'll stay up with you guys." Yeah.
You know, I always get a little worried about all-inclusive things because, like, if you go to Dominican Republic, you go to Mexico, they always have those all-inclusive, but you kind of want to go off the beaten path. You want to go into the city and the nice neighborhoods.
I don't want to do
and
that.
the restaurant.
I don't want to do that. Not in Mexico.
But for that, it's like you're like going to the Marriott. You can just go to the Marriott with some palm trees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you get taken.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that there's this threat of always getting kidnapped, and it's always in the back of your mind. Like I'm over here, we're getting married, you know, bachelor party. All my guys, we're all just here, and I might get kidnapped in a little bit.
No, crazy.
And like, my family has no money to give you, so you're pretty much gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Crazy story. The day that we left, somebody got shot in the resort.
In the resort?
In the pool, yeah.
Wait.
In the pool?
Yeah.
So it was, I believe it was a hit. Because I was reading it, they said it was a masked guy, shot somebody in the infinity pool and ran off like towards the beach. Wow. I don't know if they got him, but yeah.
What resort was this?
It was a 5-star resort too.
No. What's the name of the resort, bro?
All right.
He's never going there again.
Wait, that's a big resort.
They got a couple.
Yeah. I still went to one of the resorts out there.
Yeah, we went to one of the more bigger ones too. Yeah.
But you were in Cancun.
Cancun, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
You know, Tulum was a hot thing. Like, I remember when I was growing up, and gosh, that's how old I am. I remember the 90s when people would always talk about Mexico, it was always Cancun. Everybody went to Cancun. And Cancun
spring break.
Spring break in Cancun. And then all of a sudden, and then there's Cozumel, and then there's Acapulco in Mexico.
That was back in the 70s, bro.
It's still all right, bro. Don't make me look that. Don't make me sound that
I think the
old,
Brady
bro.
Bunch went there.
Don't do that to me, bro. And then there's Tulum. Tulum was hot for a hot minute, like especially after COVID. Right after COVID, Tulum, everybody was on it, man. Yeah. They had pyramids over there, bro.
Yes.
Pyramids.
When I went to Playa del Carmen, I went
The
to see the
Aztec,
pyramids.
yeah, I saw that too before. Yeah, this is my second time in Mexico, so
Awesome. So all in all, you had a great time.
I had a blast. I'd never do it again, but I had a blast. I'm still catching up on sleep.
I bet you are. We went to Miami this weekend. Last weekend, me and JJ went to Miami for the podcast summit. Met so many people, man. And the funny thing is that I'm a fan of a lot of podcasters.
Yeah.
Big fan. And as I was going up to them to shake their hands and say, "Yo, I watch you. I'm a big fan," they turned around and told me, "I'm a big fan of yours. You're Lowe's from Flavor." Like,
Really?
what, bro? My mind was blown.
That's
on that.
crazy.
And Jay was having the same thing. People knew him from Flava Podcast.
Wow.
So we were amazed that there's thousands of podcasters there.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
amazed on people that knew us.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's getting around. Flavor's getting around. God has his hand on us.
That's a good point because I think podcasting for so long has been super easy. Easy. What I mean by that is all you need is an interface and a microphone, and you have access to the world. But you have to, once you get to that second echelon, that new echelon, like to this level here, and of course not to toot the horn of Flavor, but this is definitely that level you want to be on if you want to be a podcaster. There's a level of professionalism and seriousness, seriosity. That's the word, right? JC, it's a word.
It is now.
It is a word. He said it is now.
Yeah. And you know, we have so much fun here too. I forget that people watch us because there's been people from church that come up to me and say, "I enjoy your podcast," and then it makes me go back and be like, "What did I say on there?"
Yeah.
Don't worry, Jason. You always say the right things. Me and Jay is like,
y'all
always saying the
y'all
right
are the
thing.
problem child.
Yeah, you know, I did notice that when I was watching some of the stuff online. I did notice you had some really good one-liners. You'd make an excellent pastor.
he did. He actually, JC came with us to Miami. The only thing he didn't know he was coming with us. Here, we'll show you.
Hey man, I think JC was a little tired today. A little dragged around by JJ. You okay there, JJ? Is he heavy?
Yeah, I want you to say hi to JC. He's in the building right now.
JC, you made it with us, baby. You here with us, baby. I told you coming to MIA.
So you open the house, JC. In spirit, we love you. We'll see you when we get back to Chicago. So he had a positive note. If you saw, he likes blue cheese on his chicken.
Blue cheese. There's a big fight on that, right?
I'm not a blue cheese fan.
You're
You're
not?
not a blue
Oh,
cheese
I said
fan?
the wrong one. Ranch? Is it ranch?
I put ranch on everything though.
I'm a blue
I'll
cheese
dip
fan.
my pizza in ranch. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? There's a lot of people that have some qualms with that. Like, okay, think about a lot of the Mexican, families that you know. When they have some tacos, what they putting on them tacos?
Sour cream?
Sour
What
cream,
kind of
bro?
tacos? Like white people tacos?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but sour cream.
you're thinking salsa. They put a
Why
hot
is my
sauce.
voice this way? I don't understand. They put what? Salsa?
Salsa,
Yeah,
a
like-
tapatio, a Valentin, right?
Okay,
They put on a salsa, right? Or they spray it with lime. They put the lime. They squeeze
Word.
the lime on it,
Word,
right?
uh-huh.
So when I have a taco, they always say, "Hey, here's some lime, here's some sauce." I'm like, I don't want that because I want to taste the taco. That makes no sense. Why am I gonna take a food and smother it with a sauce that's gonna make that food taste like the sauce? Right? Like, think
Yeah.
about that, right? And the same thing with ranch, man. Same thing with
It's
ranch.
definitely a cultural thing, because
Yeah.
Filipinos,
Yeah.
they rely heavily on sauces.
Why did you bring up Filipinos? Are you Filipino?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why.
100%,
I didn't
yeah.
want to assume.
Yeah.
See, I always thought, like, every time I see a Filipino, immediately I'm thinking, oh, Hispanic, like me. Right?
Yeah. Sauces are big.
Yeah.
For,
You guys do adobo too. I love adobo.
Yeah.
You like that?
Oh, I saw.
On YouTube right now, Matthew Lyon Montalvo, I love Adobo song. Look it up.
Yeah,
Look it up. So Matthew, what's going on with you? What before we get into the interview, what are you doing? What's popping? What's coming up? Any shows? Any TV?
Working on a whole bunch of stuff right now, and I'm trying to. I don't know. As I get older, I'm trying to filter. Right. I'm trying to put my not spread myself out too thin. Okay, trying to do things that are worth my time and that emotionally and mentally make me, happy. So the big things that I've been doing recently, I've been performing a lot with La Obra. La Obra's been getting a lot more gigs. Summertime comes up, and La Obra de Selena is hot right now, man. We're doing a lot of shows. We just did a show last night in Aurora, and they were amazing, man. Aurora, big shout out to Aurora. Big shout out to La Obra for doing that. We're also doing the Sangria Festival in 2 weeks. All right, we're closing Sunday, so we're like the last show.
Where's that going to be?
That's in Humboldt Park. Well, I think it's in Humboldt Park. Actually, it was the last time we did it was in Humboldt Park. I shouldn't say that. It's definitely going to be there, but just Google it. I'm pretty sure it's in Humboldt Park.
It's going to be Humboldt Park.
Yeah.
I checked that out already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Humboldt Park. We're closing the Sunday show, so that's going to be a big show there. Aside from that, I'm also working on, as I spoke on it last time at the podcast, working on a script for an all-Latino cast superhero movie. It's mostly all I can say about it because I don't want to give away the premise. It's a fantastic idea called Juan Alpha. It was about a middle-aged man who's at the end of his rope, who's who's getting beat up by life, and luck would have it, he's bestowed upon with some superpowers. So all Hispanic cast, all Hispanic writing, all Hispanic production, and we're really happy about that.
It's a lot. It sounds mad dope.
Yeah, it's Wakanda forever, but for Latinos. You know, so we got that going on, and you know, just trying to stay above water now, man. I just turned 40 yesterday. 40.
40. Yes, you said yesterday?
Come enjoy Elizabeth.
You said yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Wow, happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Wow, 40. 40, 33.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be 50.
You're not about to be 50.
Yeah, in October, in 2 more months.
You're 49?
I am 49.
You look great, bro.
I do.
You drink a lot of water?
I do. No. Yeah, actually, I do drink a lot of water.
Yeah? That's probably what it is. You're hydrated, bro.
And Natural Branches tea. Look for our sponsor.
Hey, you mess with tea? You mess with tea?
Yes, this is what we're all drinking right now is tea. You came a little bit late, so you didn't get no tea.
I didn't get no tea.
No.
But do you? I'm saying, do
But
you
you can
normally
spill the
mess
tea
do
here
you-
if
do
you want.
Do you normally mess with tea? Like, is tea your thing? Or you're
Ever
not a
since
tea drinker?
I've been coming to Natural Branches and my boy Franco, yes, I drink tea now. I replaced it. I haven't fully replaced it, but sometimes I replace it with that morning coffee. So I do black coffee. If I'm not in the mood for the black coffee, I do tea.
I gotta get on tea, bro, because I feel like the cultures that really mess with tea, they're really healthy cultures. Right? They have a lot of longevity in there, a lot of fertility, if you know what I mean. Fertility.
Sure do. We sure do. We sure do. Well, guys, it's time for that. It's time for Hot Topic.
Hot Topics.
So what my hot topic is Cardi B. Let's show the video. Let's show the video before we start talking about this young lady. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that she should have thrown that mic? What
heard different
stories?
sides of
Yeah,
the
what stories
stories.
did you hear?
Somebody said that she asked the crowd to throw water at some point.
She did.
Yeah.
It's
Did
actually
she?
it's actually on a tape. It's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
you-
actually
you hear it?
recorded.
Recorded,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's recorded. She did, but she
So-
did say this. She asked for them to throw it while she was twerking, and on her legs and her feet, not her face.
Yeah, but okay, so someone messes up and you assault them. You know what I'm saying? This is a bigger umbrella of a problem where oh my God, this is such a huge, much bigger issue than what it is here. For example, Chris Rock, Will Smith, right? I think generationally, we've become so okay with talking mess online. And not really worrying
Yeah.
about someone coming to your face and smacking you in the mouth like old school, right? We've become okay with being keyboard gangsters. So I'm on both sides of the fence with with Chris Rock and Will Smith and what will happen here. What I mean by that is, on one hand, if you're willing to do it, you have to be ready to pay the consequences, like get a mic to the mouth or a smack to the face. If you're willing to do it. On the other hand, you know, a mistake made or, you know, a line crossed gets you assaulted. I don't know, man. I'm kind of like on both sides of the
Yeah,
fence
because
on
people
that.
have gotten used to doing things without consequences,
Yes.
which is a big problem.
100%.
Well, they were thinking about filing charges, but they didn't file charges. What they tried to file charges.
Wait, who's
but
they? Cardi or
the one that got hit.
Because
But
I heard there was another girl who, when it ricocheted, it hit her too.
Really?
And she got a bruise, yeah.
that's gonna be no lawsuit.
Shoot, if
That's
I was
no
there,
lawsuit.
I could have been in the nosebleeds. I would have been like, I felt the wind. I felt the wind on my eyeball. It's fractured on the. I would have get paid.
But there's also been a chain of events of like people getting phones thrown at them.
that one
So-
singer as well got a
Yes.
phone thrown at
Yeah.
her.
So
Yeah,
maybe that could have been in the back of Cardi's mind too. So
Didn't Bad Bunny just fling a
phone.
Yeah.
A phone, yeah. There's a lot of phone flinging going on. There's a lot of technologies flying all over the place.
So yeah, so they couldn't press charges on her, but they're still gonna go after her with a civil suit. So that's what's going on. She's still getting sued for doing it,
Wow.
whether they were in there
Well,
or not.
You're Cardi B, man. Like any celebrity, anybody who's if you have 6 zeros in that bank account, 5 zeros in the bank account, you can't be doing dumb stuff like
you
that.
got to conduct yourself.
Right,
You
and
gotta
plus
conduct
she
yourself.
has bodyguards. Come on, it's like send your bodyguard,
Yeah, to go beat him up.
remove that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy to say, we remove that person that just
Yeah.
wet my face. She didn't. I feel like she didn't have to throw the mic. She
100%, yeah.
I would not throw the mic. I would have sent my goons.
Okay.
What happened with Dave Chappelle? With Dave Chappelle when someone tried to go on stage after the whole
and
incident
rushed him?
and rushed him?
Yeah.
And he had a knife.
They
Had
They came out. The goons came out from the back.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and we all know what happened to that guy because the goons took him to the back.
Yep. Definitely different mode there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, are we tired of Cardi B yet? Is there a place where Cardi B has kind of reached that?
I
that finish
will
line?
get flack for this, but I never liked Cardi B.
You never liked Cardi B.
The only one song, and that's with Bruno Mars.
Oh yeah.
That's it. The
I
rest,
never really followed her either.
it's just to me, it's too degrading. She degrades herself. She degrades women. I see what she's trying to do, and that's everybody else is doing it. But I'm not going to follow that flow. I follow God.
Well, that brings up a great point. Like, I love. I'm a musician.
I thought you were going to say I love ratchetness.
No. Yes, but no. I'm a musician. I've been a musician for a very long time, so I really appreciate different types of music. And you can call it worldly, you can call it non-Christian music. And then when you have individuals who have like a music background but are Christian, they usually are there on that side. So it's very hard to commingle the two genres of music. So I think it's a great conversation for someone like, for example, you don't like Cardi B per se, but would you say that you listen to other things or like certain things you don't, but certain things you do? Or are you of the faith where I have to listen to only Christian music because everything else is worldly?
Definitely not. I don't listen to even though the old rap,
Yeah.
which I loved before. But now since I've grown, I'm to a different level now. You know what I'm saying? I grew up.
Yeah.
Anything degrading women, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. It's not for me. I got a daughter.
Yeah.
You know, I got a daughter. I don't need somebody out there treating my daughter just like they're saying in these songs. You know, treat me this way, do this to me, do that to me.
Yeah.
No, not to my kid.
LL Cool J makes a song called "I'm Gonna Knock You Out," promoting violence. By the way, promoting violence.
But Mama told him to.
Okay. See, that's the caveat. That's Mama told him to. He had permission. I mean, there's so many bad things it could be promoting, man. Drug dealing, violence. You know, not listening to authority. You know, but I don't know. That's why I brought it up because I feel like people who listen to only Christian music will just shut off everything else.
No. In the beginning, yes, I was on fire, and you think you're not supposed to.
It depends on the individual.
Yeah, but it depends on the music. You know what I'm saying? It depends what it's saying. I listen to house music, but when it gets to some house music that is not that good to hear, I switch it. You know what I'm saying?
So, what is your take on the song "Booty Call"? There's a house track.
Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie.
Yeah. He'll be on the show as well.
Oh, awesome! All right, there you go. We'll ask him. Mr. Eddie, how fast are you exactly?
So cool. So, JC, what's your hot topic?
All right. As most of you know, I'm a big Sox fan. Tim Anderson.
Can I say why?
What do you mean why?
Why are you a Sox fan?
Oh man.
Okay, this is what you do. If you ever come to Chicago, right, and you like beers, a good time, acting up, you go to Wrigley. You want to watch baseball, you come to the South Side. That's what you do, Los. I'm here for the sport.
You know, I'm gonna take that because it's true. It is true.
You want baseball, you go to
true.
the South Side.
But you know, and if you want space, a lot of space, because you can move your arms around this and not hit anybody at the Sox field whatsoever.
We got better food,
because
too.
there's nobody there.
There's better food.
There's nobody there.
Yeah.
They're all at Wrigley. Sox fans or Cubs.
I'm a Chicago fan, so if is Chicago involved,
he's trying to stay neutral.
Nah, if it's Chicago involved, I'm in. Honestly, I haven't followed baseball enough to love to like one more than the other. I'm a North Sider all my life, so I lean naturally to Chicago, and I'm a history buff, so I lean more into Chicago Cubs. But I appreciate both of the hustles, and I honestly love the White Sox jerseys. Boy, I mean, it's the best. I think it's the dopest looking jersey in the MLB.
I love them too in the '80s. But go ahead.
Well, anyway, Tim Anderson, our shortstop, took a shot to the face yesterday.
What do you mean? What happened?
So he got somebody out at second base.
He caught those hands.
It turned into a scuffle.
Yeah,
They put the fist up, and he ended up getting knocked out.
Did you hear anything about what was said? Like,
No,
what were the words that
I
were
didn't.
exchanged? Because I saw it was a slide. And then while he's in between the guy's legs, he looks up and starts yelling at the fielder, at the second baseman.
For calling him out.
Yeah, something like that. He's yelling at somebody up while he's down, and then they both get up, and then they square up, and then Anderson put his fists up first, like he got in fighting pose.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that in an MLB game. Usually they're just flailing around in each other's faces. No, this guy put his dukes up like this and got knocked up.
The announcers played into it though. It was funny. I
Really?
watched it like 10 times
What
the
do you
first time
mean?
I
They
seen.
did a
They
play-by-play?
called it like it was a boxing match. When
man.
he said down goes Anderson.
And
As soon as he
down
fell.
goes Anderson.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're gonna play it right now because I have to
Yeah.
see it for myself. We're gonna play it right now. Let's play.
Oscar's throw is not in time.
He just missed him at second base. This is another rocket of a throw, and now,
Oh, boy.
now. it
Oh,
looks
my
like there's
goodness. Here come the benches. Off we go. It started with Anderson and Ramirez. Swings being taken. Kopak had to hold him back. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
right.
pretty good hit.
So the worst part is, if I'm Tim Anderson, I gotta explain to people that I got knocked out by a guy who had his eyes closed the whole time. Because he had his eyes closed and he was swinging.
Bro, if you get knocked out in a professional sport other than like a fighting
Yeah.
sport, that's a big deal. If you get knocked out in NBA,
Especially if you put your fist up first. Come
yeah,
on, man.
oh. And he looked like he was ready. He looked like he was. And if you look at it, I saw it in slow mo. So the contact did not look like it was like.
You saw it in
It was
slow-
a lucky
You saw it
hit.
in slow mo.
It was definitely a
yeah,
lucky
because
hit.
that was the only time I saw it. It wasn't slow mo like they're showing all the punches.
Okay, you didn't slow mo to yourself.
What do you mean?
Like, did you slow mo
No, they
yourself?
played that
no.
clip.
Okay,
like
I'm just saying
10
you're really
times.
into it.
Yeah. It was like yeah.
You're a mom.
Yeah, pretty much. And he just clipped him on the chin right there. Boop.
Yeah.
And lights
Wow.
out. Lights
Yeah.
out. He fell in his
Wait,
back.
lights out? You knocked him
Lights out. Lights
They
out.
had to carry him. Yeah, he was like wobbly walking off the field too. It was.
Yeah, hit him. He dropped on the floor after the punch, and then they picked him up.
And then there's been edits everywhere all over the internet.
Here in Chicago? Was the fight here in Chicago?
No, it was in Cleveland.
Oh wow.
They were like, man, he's been in Chicago for how many years and he can't fight?
Oh, dang,
Yeah.
bro. Is that racism? That's cityism. That's cityism.
Yeah, and he's repping the South Side. Come on,
Oh,
man.
he doesn't know how to fight. Come on. So, Matthew Lyon, what is your first hot
Man.
topic ever
Yo.
on the Flava Podcast?
Yo, on the Flava Podcast, I got to bring this up. And the reason why I got to bring this up is because I got a microphone in front of my face now. I've been talking about this for so dang long, and all of a sudden, some dude gets on some microphone somewhere and starts admitting to somebody that there's aliens in this world, and
Whoa.
now people want to talk about it. Yo, these aliens had done been talked about for years and years and years. So they're calling it unidentified aerial phenomena. All right, phenomena.
That's new for me. Okay.
Yeah, so UAP, they changing it from UFO to UAP. A congressional committee has convened. It's called the House Oversight Committee. Basically, it's a bunch of people, a bunch of rich politicians. They want to know if the government is hiding things from them, if there's any way the Biden administration can find out more information that these other parts of the government know about.
Right.
So they're questioning this guy, and they're asking him some some stuff that you see on a movie. Like, this is like Independence Day type of questions. You know what I mean? There's some key takeaways here, all right? The key takeaways are the government, this is what the dude said, of course. This is all alleged. Alleged. That's the word when you don't want to get in trouble.
Word.
The government is definitely in possession of UAPs. So they said, yeah. And Homeboy is supposedly, he's like,
said not
he's
human.
credentialed. He's credentialed. Like, Homeboy is like,
What does that mean? You said JC not human?
not
He
human.
emphasized it's not human.
Yeah.
But
Whatever
there's
they
a lot
have
of things
in
that are
possession
not
of.
human. A robot's not human.
Yeah, they're saying
Yeah,
they could be plants. It could be whatever. But he couldn't go into it, right? The second thing is that they have non-human biologics. You ever heard that word,
I have.
biologics? I ain't never heard that word, biologics.
Biology.
I've heard biology.
Yeah,
Did
biology.
you pass biology in high school?
I did.
You did?
I did.
I barely passed it.
I was in honors.
I showed up. I showed up.
Lane Tech, class 08, what up?
Damn. So
I love that guy,
School
bro.
of Champions.
non-human biologics. That means body parts of something that's not human.
Hey, the craziest part is it feels like nobody cares.
Yes, thank you. I've been trying to say
When
this
I
for so
seen this, I'm
long.
like, nobody cares.
I know he's talking about. Okay, so what it is a bunch of politicians are asking this guy who's basically, he's doing a I don't know. I guess he has some kind of project that he's working on, and he's interviewing people. So he's interviewing people in Intel, scientists, people who have direct knowledge of this, and he's interviewing them, and he's getting their testimonies, and now they're interviewing him. So it's a testimony of a testimony, basically. Okay. And the last thing is that.
So this is, wait a second. So he's not getting this directly from their mouth. He's interviewing somebody else that knows about this stuff.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
okay.
he has a project that he had to collect information.
Okay.
Right, for the oversight committee.
Word.
From my understanding, that he has to collect all this information. Now they're questioning him about it. So what he's saying is that I talked to a whole bunch of people who said at some point they may have injured humans. These things at some point have injured humans. Wow. And he couldn't get into much detail about it, right? My point is this. Aliens, bro. That's it. Aliens now.
Well, because
now it's
aliens.
Area
50 was Area 51?
Yeah. In 2013,
people went crazy over that.
In 2013, they
still
said
now
Area
that
51.
It's confirmed, nobody
they
cares.
finally confirmed Area 51 in 2013, and it exists. It exists. No, it don't. No, it don't. All right, guys, it kind of exists.
Why can't we pass that gate then? Why can't we get through that gate?
All right, it kind of exists. We were just joking with you, and now. And then by the way, the Pentagon is completely saying they're rebutting all of this. They're saying no, we don't have any of this information. We don't know what the heck he's talking about. But at the same token, 2, 3, 4 years ago, they declassified these videos of what is it? UAPs flying over the ocean.
Yo, I want to say something right now. Matthew has done his homework. He has done his homework. He's up in there. Yeah, that's good stuff, bro.
UAPs, man. UAPs are forcing me to do this. That's what it is. I got probed one day. I will talk about it later.
Put the foil on your head.
I had the foil on my head, like if I was an old school changing the channel with the ratchet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Back in the 90s.
Crazy times, man.
Wow, that is some banana stuff going on.
Now my phone's gonna be tapped by the government.
Aliens,
Thanks for that, bro.
No
So the religious world is saying that it's not aliens. There's actually demons. Yeah, we could get more into that when we bring our guest out and see what his thoughts are on that as well. So, anything else? You good?
I'm always good, Los. I'm always good.
You got more info?
No,
because I'm loving the info you're giving us.
Hey, so those takeaways were huge. The video they were talking about. Okay, so let me back it up a little bit. They're talking about this video, right? 2 F-something Raptors, right? I know this F-20 something. I think F-24.
Those are planes?
Yeah, fighter jets.
Star Wars.
Some of the fastest flying things in the freaking globe are flying, and they're doing routes together, right? And they're within 20 feet of each other, or something like that, something along those lines, a couple yards away from each other. And as they're doing this route, a object flies up in betwixt them, Los.
That's a new word.
That's a word.
Okay.
In between them, within 5 to 10 feet of both of the wings, and this thing, right, is about 5 to 10 feet wide in a clear bubble with a sphere on the inside. I'm sorry, a cube on the inside. And they said that this thing flew with them without any problems, without no issues, and then out of nowhere, boom, it just shot straight up into the sky.
Gone.
They said that they've witnessed these things go up 80,000 feet straight up into the air and dive into the water, like with no sound
into the water
with no sound, no motor, no engine, no sonic boom, right? Every plane that we have emits some type of sound, right, because of the engine.
Right. Wow.
Oh, so it was part of the thing. The being.
It was the thing and the being. That's what it is.
Wow.
And we figured it out. We figured out exactly what it was. We here at Flava Podcast.
Now I got to ask our guest.
It was one of my exes. It was one of my exes. She was spying on me. What happened?
One of your exes was
It was one of my
you?
exes spying on me. That's what she got the technology to spy on me. That's what it was.
Well, I did mention demons.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here first.
Well, right now we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back with Pastor Stephen Keys.
Yes, sir.
Hola, mi gente. This is brought to you by Faith Strong. Faith Strong is a faith-based apparel line. So when you purchase from Faith Strong, it helps us stay online. So go to www.faithstrong413.com to purchase your apparel.
What's up? It's your boy in the house. We got Los JC, and today we have the marvelous, the awesome Matthew Lyon. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name. He's in the building. But right now we got a guest. He is a man of God. He has been walking these streets talking about God. He's not afraid to go out the 4 walls and speak the truth about Jesus Christ. He's actually from the church New Life Covenant HP campus. He's actually my pastor, Jay-Z's pastor,
Yes, sir.
Stephen Keys. What's up, Pastor?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm excited to be a part of this podcast.
Awesome. We're happy that you're here, that you agreed to be on our podcast, man.
Yeah.
So, Pastor, I got some icebreakers to go through. You can answer yes, no, or you don't have to answer at all. You go around them.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Tacos or burritos, Pastor?
Tacos.
White tacos.
I grew up in Humboldt Park around a little Mexicans and a lot of Puerto Ricans. So.
All right. White rice or yellow rice?
White rice.
Remember, you got a Puerto Rican wife. That's all I gotta say.
White rice. I had to think about it.
Why the white rice?
It goes well with the beans, the black beans.
Everybody says that. Everybody says that.
Those black beans, yeah.
I think Matthew had the different. You like the yellow rice, right?
Yeah, I did mention I had yellow rice first, but then someone brought up a good point that you could use white rice in a lot of other things like sushi, and I love sushi. So I was like,
versatility is there.
Versatility.
That was LD. That was LD, right? She's the one that brought that up.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. I think Jesse probably talked about it. That's what it was. It was Jesse.
Okay.
Because you could use the caldo, you could use the juice.
Yes.
Nah, y'all got me getting hungry.
Me too.
So, Pastor, Tom or Jerry?
Tom and Jerry.
Both of them. Why both?
Just, I grew up watching it.
Okay.
So I can't really go with one without the other. So
Okay. Superman or Batman?
Superman.
Why Superman?
Superpowers.
Okay. So the intelligence of Batman, you're good with?
Yeah, I like his intelligence, but he don't got superpower.
Okay. Okay. Jay-Z or Nas?
Nas.
Why?
Lyrically.
Okay.
He's a better lyricist.
Okay. All right. Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Oh, hold on. I was watching that episode where you were here. You said Tupac didn't have no club songs?
He ain't got no club songs. What club song? What bar or club? I mean, I'm sorry, I know you're a man of the faith, but back in the day, think back in the day, right? When you would
Get
go
Around?
out, you heard I Get Around at a nightclub
California
before.
Love.
How do you want
How
it?
do you-
Okay,
I was gonna
I
say,
give you how do you want it. I give you how do you want
Yeah.
it. I give you how do you want it. But Biggie,
I picked Pac not just on a hip hop level, but a cultural level as
Yeah,
well. He
that.
was a little bit more influential.
100%. That I agree with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So since your wife is Puerto Rican, salsa or merengue? What are you dancing at home, bro?
All right, here, well, let's break it down. Okay.
Salsa.
Salsa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, salsa.
Yeah, she got me moving.
Word. So one of my favorite genres, jazz or Latin jazz?
Jazz.
Why jazz?
It's smooth. Just it's smooth.
You like chilling? Because jazz
Yeah.
is more of a sit back, chill, relax. Latin jazz, it can get your feet moving.
Well, jazz.
Yeah.
When I think of jazz, I think of just a smooth, smooth atmosphere.
Yeah. I'm a Latin jazz guy because I like hearing the timbales and the trompeta and
You got to put me up on
the
that.
bongos.
There's more percussion in
A
Latin
lot more
jazz.
percussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew can speak on that.
Yeah. More percussion in Latin jazz.
Yeah.
If everybody don't know Matthew Lyon, he's in a band called La Obra, and they also play that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we do our thing. We do our thing.
You have your conguero, right? What was his name again?
That's Rob. That's my guy. Yeah, that's big bro.
Okay, cool. So, Pastor, what's your favorite food?
Deep dish Giordano pizza.
Giordano. Okay.
Yeah.
Deep dish though. Deep dish.
Spinach. I'm trying to eat healthy.
Deep dish.
Okay.
No meat.
I'm gonna call it. When was the last time you had it?
It's probably been. I suppose it went today.
Okay.
It's been about 2 weeks.
All right, I got it for you. I got it
Come on,
for
man,
you right
shoot
here.
it up.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. And they say, all right, we're getting you whatever you want, any restaurant you want. You're going deep dish Giordano's. See,
So you just
changes
put me on the
things.
spot.
The question was your favorite food.
Yeah, but I just think about it. Just came.
I got
eat
you,
it
I
a
got
lot.
you. Yeah.
But Rizza's up north. It's a Mediterranean restaurant.
Mediterranean.
On Clark Street.
Clark Street. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's expensive.
It's expensive.
What do you eat there? I never eaten Mediterranean food.
I eat. What is that dish I eat? It's fish.
I figured it's
Salmon.
fish.
Deal rice, beans. Oh my goodness, it's just so good.
Word.
I gotta get out of my box. I'm like in this little tiny box of the same foods I eat. I go in the same 4 blocks of food. I'm like, I'm gonna eat my chicken here, my pizza there, tacos there.
You
That's
got to come
it.
out of that, Matt.
I gotta get out of that.
Yeah.
So, your favorite TV show as a child, and what is it now?
Favorite TV show as a child? It had to be the Martin Lawrence Show.
That wasn't a child.
Yeah.
I know you're much younger than me, but
I'm rewatching that.
What
Martin
age
Lawrence?
is you talking about?
when you were younger, like 13, 12.
Yeah, I was around that age.
Jesus, I'm old.
You was about to be 50 years old. I'm under you. Like, so no shade.
Shots fired.
He put the
Shots
number
fired.
No
out there.
shade, but you
Shots
said
fired on
it.
the Flava Podcast.
Yep.
Come on. All right.
Hey,
all
the
right.
flavor is tapioca. That's what it is.
So, wow. Okay. So, what is your favorite show now?
It's crazy because I don't have a lot of time to watch TV. I used to watch Undercover Boss. Man, I stopped watching it because I used to get emotional.
Yeah.
I'm being transparent. Yeah. To see how some of those bosses would bless some of those employees that was working really hard.
Word.
Yeah. My wife had me crying.
Yeah.
She started crying. I started crying. We both started.
Blame
She's the
her.
one that started it?
We're going to
Yeah,
blame
she
her.
started. I got to blame somebody.
Dang,
It's the
that
blame
wife,
game.
that's all her fault.
Yeah. You got to blame it on somebody.
Blame it on her.
So, Pastor, famous person you would like to meet, dead or alive?
Probably Dr. King.
Word.
Yeah.
Why?
Just his influence, the level of pressure that he was under. I would like to talk about his transition from leading a local church to actually having a national platform during the time of segregation and racism where minorities was ostracized. I would like to pick his brain and just see what that was like during that era.
Do you think that Martin Luther King talked the way he talked, like normally? You know how he has a certain cadence to his
Yeah.
voice, like everything, like was real. Everything that he has to say was. Do you think he talks like that?
No,
normally?
I
Like,
think
can
that's-
you please
it's-
pass the kitchen,
pass
the
ki-
ketchup?
yeah.
Like,
And
you
I
know?
seen. No, I think that just comes from being trained to be a public speaker, and it comes from the African American Negro preaching that actually stemmed from the South, coming out of slavery.
Ooh, I want to talk
so-
about this. Can we talk about this?
Yeah, so that's what that comes from. So that's that traditional style of I would call Baptist preaching.
Oh, I love this. I love that we can actually pinpoint it because I've been doing a lot of research, not a lot of research, just kind of perusing a lot of I guess pastors that have like national platforms, right?
Yep.
And what I've seen are I've started developing a list of all the same things that you see in all the pastors, and
Yep.
some of them I see a lot is one of them is, for example, say this. So, for example, it'll be like Jesus said. Walk without fear. Everybody say walk.
Everybody say walk. Yeah.
Everybody say walk. Just
Yep.
that one word.
Yep.
And everybody like, walk. Right?
Yeah,
They-
yeah,
And
walk.
it just grabs everybody's
Yeah.
attention. Or they stutter. Right? So everything's like, so then,
Yeah.
and then he said it.
Yep.
Or they say the same thing in 4 different ways.
Yeah.
You have to be strong. You have to be confident. You have to be
You have to be courageous.
courageous. You have to be
vibrant. You have to-
yeah. The same thing but 4 different ways, but it's so captivating.
I think because you have a broad audience, especially if you have a very educational audience.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to cross-pollinate the ancient text to what's going on in the current environment. And so if you don't know how to do that as a communicator, you will lose the people. In the
love
Baptist
that you
church
said
I
that.
came up in, they would say, help us, Lord, help us, Lord. But if the preacher was doing bad, they'll say, help him, Lord, help him, Lord. So and through repetition, you become a better
You
communicator.
see,
was about to
that
say
right there
that
is
too.
fascinating, Pastor, because not a lot of people are saying, yeah, this is something you do to captivate an audience.
Yep.
This is something that you do if you're a good orator.
Yeah.
Orator is the word?
Yeah, orator.
This is something you do if you're a good public speaker.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think that so many people kind of like throw that to the wayside and they say, oh, no, it's just because I'm anointed. It's because the Holy Spirit.
There comes a time that you got to understand the practicality of communication on a broader scale. Even as a meteorologist, we're not just talking about as a preacher. You got even as a singer. When you have a platform, you should be a great orator. You should be able to speak clearly, confidently, and competently.
Yeah, that's good.
Fire.
That's good.
I'm just like this.
Yeah, that's one thing I've
this is gonna
learned
be a good
my
show.
time in the church the past few years, because I grew up Catholic. And no offense to Catholic church, but they would kind of just read cover to cover, and it was kind of more of a monotone. And one thing I learned in our church, the power of emphasis and repetition, because like these things will be implanted in me. Like I wouldn't know when I need it, but when I do, it just pops up. Like I'll hear the voice from
Yeah.
a certain sermon. I'm like, that's what that was for.
Yeah, in T.D. Jakes' book, he got a book called "Don't Drop the Mic," and he talks about how to be an effective communicator.
Yeah.
How to be effective and efficient, and he talks about something called the pregnant pause. where you speak and then you have to let it marinate
Yeah.
into their hearts and minds for about 5 or 10 seconds, where the room is just silent.
Yeah.
You can hear a pin drop. But you have to be confident as a communicator to do that, and you don't want to allow that pause to go too long. So it's important.
Man, this is an all day long conversation.
I love
right?
this.
Yes, I love this.
I'm loving
Yeah.
this right
Yeah.
now. Really loving this. Your favorite movie? I know you probably have a bunch of movies that you love, but the one that comes off the top of your head right now, one of your favorite movies.
Coolie High.
Coolie High. All right,
That's
all
interesting.
right,
That's a
all
good
right.
one.
It's one of my favorites. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites. It's a great look into our culture here in Chicago.
Yep.
It was it in the 70s. I think it was the
Yeah.
70s. Great movie. Great movie. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
What game do you play on PlayStation?
2K.
seem like a
2K20,
PlayStation guy.
2K21, 2K22. What's up?
I don't even play my PlayStation no more. It's just it's dusty. It's dusty.
I'm gonna get into it now that I have. Yeah, I just got a PS5, so I'm gonna jump into PS5. I'm gonna just do something. I don't know what, but I'm gonna do something.
Harry Potter.
I want to play Bratz and yeah.
Well, awesome. So, Pastor, you have a book out.
Yeah.
I have it right here. I'm going to show it to the camera. Open the Heavens by Stephen A. Keyes. What's the middle initial?
Guess. God will speak to you.
Stop,
Anthony.
because you know I'm a jokester, man. So stop.
No, it's Andre, man. That's
Andre.
what it stands
Okay, I was
for.
going to say
Yeah.
Alvin.
No, not Alvin. That's an old name. And Andre is too, but Alvin is
So
old.
here's the book right here.
said
You
Alvin.
can zoom into it. That's the book right here. When did you write this book?
So I wrote the book during the pandemic. I started writing the book in March of 2020. I kind of finished it up probably in August of 2020.
Okay, we have another author on the table. That's Matthew is also an
Yeah, I
author.
did a
Awesome.
Three Kings book. Yeah.
And I was amazed that he came out with Three Kings book. I was like, where the...
Three Kings. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a lot of Hispanic cultures
Yeah.
they follow, and I felt like it'll be a good opportunity to have our Hispanic kids have our own little nugget of culture there.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Matthew, is that are you still selling that book, or what's going on with that book?
Sold out the first run, but by no means is it in the thousands. It's a couple hundred, and those all local. So it's definitely not to this level. I see the name real big on there. He has a nice got a nice logo on it. You got a logo on that. Look at that. You got fonts on there. That's not even Microsoft Word. That's like photo. That's like clip art type of stuff. That's good.
So, Pastor, so you did this book during COVID. But what made you? What said write a book?
Well, I think God speaks to all of us, and in some facet, in some shape. About 4 years prior to that, I was at a prayer gathering, and one of my pastor friends gave me a prophetic word pertaining to writing a book, and I kind of kept it in the archives, and I would pray on it, but I didn't sense it was time to write. There's timings and seasons where, you just feel it. You have an inner knowing that this is the season for me to do this and I have to get it done. So when the pandemic hit, my kids actually inspired me to do it. They were really on me. They were like my accountability partners. And so I couldn't go anywhere, and so I just started typing. Okay. And what I did was I took some of my sermons that I had preached, because I write manuscripts, and I took pieces from my sermon and I kind of concocted the book.
Awesome. So I was reading the book, and it said you had a life-changing situation. What was that life-changing situation?
Well, so my grandparents were my biggest inspirations. My grandparents, they modeled Jesus before me, so I already knew about religion. I knew I supposed to have had a relationship with God because they modeled that before me. And so my grandmother passed away on Mother's Day in 2005, and it was hurtful, it was painful. I was unsure about life. I was only 19 years old. And I believe at that moment, my transformation began, because I kind of sensed, looking back, that God started speaking to me after she passed. And leading up to December, I was at a New Year's party, and we was getting ready to turn up. It was about to be lit, and I just had an encounter with God. It wasn't like a Moses encounter where the bush was on fire, but I had an inner knowing that there was something deeper than what I had ever experienced before. And at that moment, I just submitted to God. I said, if you can get me out of 2005, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. And that's what I've been doing.
Word. So there was their transition there. So before you became a pastor or started pursuing
Yeah.
God, what were you doing before that?
Oh, so I played basketball really well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played AAU basketball. I played all across the country. Didn't make it to the NBA, but that was my first love, basketball. So that kind of kept me occupied all throughout my teenage years. And when I met the Lord, I was 20. So from 13 to 19, I was really consumed with basketball. And then God transitioned me over. Yeah.
So have you always lived here in Chicago?
Yeah, I always lived in Chicago.
So you were born here in Chicago?
Yep.
What hospital?
I was actually born in Humboldt Park. It's not a hospital no more. It's the Association House, Walter Memorial.
Oh, yeah.
I worked there.
You worked there. Well, look,
Yeah.
at
Worked
look at the connection.
What street is that? Was that in Kedzie?
Kedzie.
Kedzie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right across the street from the park.
Yeah. I didn't know that until about probably 5 years ago. My mom told me.
Okay.
Never knew that.
Because you pass by it, it doesn't look like a hospital.
Yeah.
But it's actually a hospital.
Yeah.
A small one.
Yeah.
A small one.
A small. Yeah.
The inside looks like a hospital.
Yeah.
The inside
Does
has
it?
the big hallways, white floors.
So in your book, Pastor, there's a gentleman that you dedicated this book to, Raymond. I can't see what he's saying. That's Raymond T.S.D. Walson.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Oh man, that was my best friend. I get kind of choked up talking about it. I met him when I was 5 years old. We went to pre-K, kindergarten, all the grammar school, Von Steuben. He passed away on June 6, 2020, and that took a lot out of me. He the one introduced me, him and his brother, to hip hop, mostly the East Coast rappers, a little bit of the West Coast, and we wrote songs together. We recorded songs together.
Okay. So you used to rap?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, I was a rapper as well.
Oh, okay.
A poet, yes.
Okay.
So
Well, you know when you're on the Flavor Show, what Lowe's does is put you on the spot.
yeah, go ahead.
Let's hear some bars.
I feel like we're in prison and no one can free us. But then I had a talk with God. He told me the solution was Jesus. So this is my reason, my raison d'etre, to keep breathing. The life is my gateway, so I'm going to keep breathing. I'm going to keep stepping. Because in my eyes, I feel like I'm a lethal weapon. The scripture says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. This is not a stage production. You won't get an Oscar.
Let's put your hands together for Pastor Stephen Keys.
Hey.
MC Keys is in the building.
Yeah, I'm
here.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
That was good. So this friend of yours passed away.
Yeah.
And that was in what year again?
2020, June 6th. Actually, I let him hear what I just said, and he wanted to put it on the outro.
Okay.
He's like, we're going to record that. I want to put that on the outro. And so I sent it to him, and it never happened. So I decided to dedicate that book to him.
That's love.
Yep.
That's love.
That's dope.
So you've been married for how long now?
Man, I've been married to my wife for 16 years.
16 years.
Coming up on 16 years.
So what advice you would give somebody that's about to get married in September, Mr. JC?
Well, hey, listen, man, just keep forgiving.
Yeah.
I like that.
You got to forgive. That's the most important thing. Because if you love someone, you got to be willing to forgive them. You have to be willing to do that. If not, what happens is unforgiveness only allows you to become more separated and divided. And what happens when there's a gap, the enemy comes in and fills those gaps and loopholes. And so the reality is that if you have a family, you end up healing while the child is suffering. So I would say forgiveness is the most important piece. I don't count love, because love is the foundation. And that's what you build your house upon.
That's good.
So how many kids you have with your wife?
3. We got 2 daughters and 1 son. My daughter is 15 years old. My other daughter is 11, and my son Shamar Gabriel, he's 4.
All good kids, I bet.
You said what?
I said all good kids.
You said what?
I said all good kids, I bet.
Pray for me. Intercede for me.
I bet in the Keys house, those kids are in order.
Yeah, my kids are good for the most part.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't try to beat them with religion. I try to be as supportive as I can be. We do have Monday moments, and it's only for 15 to 20 minutes where we talk about a current event. We tie the scripture to it. I give them the opportunity to talk, and we're done.
That's good.
What did you want people to get out of this book that you wrote?
The importance of having a relationship with God.
Yeah.
It's really basic. All of us are at various stages of preparation spiritually. So that's why you shouldn't compare your relationship with anybody else, because you lose the joy of walking with God as an individual. And so the basic premise of the book is to maintain a relationship with God through prayer.
Man, I love the story of you and your grandma, though, because mine was similar.
Wow.
And I've heard a couple of people say this, too. Just something about grandmothers, man. She was the only person in my life that would pray on a normal basis, and she passed in 2013. And when she went, it was just like a dark cloud. And that's when I understood, like, the power of prayer. Because it wasn't until I started praying for myself that I felt that, like, protection again. So.
Wow.
I never liked my grandma.
No.
Why, man?
Didn't like her. Sorry, Mom. Sorry. Dad. Both of them. No, you know what it was? I was a bad kid. I was a real bad kid, and they babysat me. So I was the one that they always kind of like, just tolerate them.
I loved my grandmother. But she was mean. Was she mean? And literally, she only had one leg.
I was the first grandchild, though, so.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I knew I was covered in prayer. I didn't understand this till later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, once she was gone, I was doing the same thing. I was looking for stuff, and it wasn't until I found that I realized that's what was missing.
Wow.
And she covered me, man.
Did anybody else's grandparents' house stink? Just smelled weird? Just like the second you walk in, you just
Yeah.
you just get hit.
Or
With
there was a
something.
distinct smell to it.
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
it
like
was
a
that.
bad smell.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah. It has a unique smell to it.
Unless she's making soup. If she's making soup, then the whole place
Yeah, I didn't
smells
have
amazing.
that problem. My grandma's house smelled like carne frita all the time.
Yeah, it's like
It was
food
carne
all the
frita,
time.
so we were happy we were at her house. We're about to eat, even though she was mean to us. She's gonna feed us. So it's all good. It's all good. So, Pastor,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I see myself in the next 5 years pastoring a church on the West Side. Probably be on my 4th book and traveling the world, preaching the gospel, and probably doing some life coaching.
Awesome. So
I see
this
all
is
of that.
your first book, I want to say?
First book, yeah.
Is there a second book out there?
It's coming.
I love that. He already knows his third, his second, third, and fourth is coming out.
Yeah.
Amen to that. So, guys, questions?
Did you intentionally use the last name Keys, or is that your last name?
Yeah, that's my last name, Keys.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
You think about Alicia?
No. So my understanding of the word pastor, like my fellow JC here, Catholic upbringing all the way up to college. All my schools have been Catholic, right? And then, when you're on the outside looking into different denominations of Christianity, you hear that word pastor.
Yep.
For us, it was father.
Father,
right?
absolutely.
So, and then the father conducted himself in a certain way in that he dressed a certain way. He was modest. He was meek. He was humble and quiet. Not to say anybody else isn't. I'm just saying that's what I remember when I was being a kid. When you grow up and you see the word pastor, you immediately start seeing the people parody the term.
Yep.
And you immediately start seeing Pastor Moneybags, Pastor this, Pastor that, and then you see Living Color and the guy that Jim Carrey and David Allen Greer played as pastors.
Yeah.
And then you grow up a little bit, and then you start seeing people talk about them. There is a belief, or I guess a belief structure, or a school of thought called the Prosperity Bible.
Yeah.
I personally live next to a pastor, a very big pastor in the city of Chicago, who has a very big church now. And I just always remember him coming in with the Porsche. And then when the Expeditions were big, he had the Expedition, the Eddie Bauer edition. Beautiful house, beautiful wife, beautiful everything. And my father, who's a Marine, always used to say something like, he's a pastor and he has all that. He's a pastor and he has all that. And I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So what is your take or understanding or philosophy on pastors, or even if you preach it yourself, of this idea of prosperity?
Well, when I think about prosperity, prosperity is much broader than money.
Yeah.
You can prosper in your faith. You can prosper in your marriage. You can prosper as a parent. You can prosper as a father. I don't believe in the prosperity gospel, but however, I do believe in living an abundant life.
Yeah.
From what Jesus said, he said, I didn't come that you may, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. Prosperity starts in the mind. It starts because the mind consists of the soul. So anybody who's ever prospered in anything, it had to start from a thought. And then you utilize the thought, and then you execute a plan, and then you see the manifestation of it. So I don't believe in the prosperity gospel. I don't believe it without a great work ethic, you will not accomplish anything. So I think that's where we partner our faith with our vision, and then we ask God for strategies and wisdom and relationships, and then we see the manifestation. The scripture says in 3 John 1 and 2, beloved, I wish above all that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So I believe prosperity starts with the mind.
Do you feel like there's a connection now with, new age media, our younger generation, the development of podcasts and social media, and I don't want to say get rich quick, but it just seems like everyone is involved in some type of way to earn a living, right? To make money fast, even. Do you see any connection with the church in that world?
Yeah, I think the church have benefited from a technological standpoint, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
So we had traditional churches who were saying that Facebook, Instagram, and all of the other social media sites were demonic. But when the pandemic hit, they suffered from it because they were not making the necessary adjustments from a technological standpoint.
Yeah.
When we couldn't come in the buildings, we was able to bring the gospel through the camera lens.
Yeah.
And so many churches stayed afloat while other churches had to close because they didn't pivot and make the necessary transition.
100%.
Yep.
I always have this issue because I'm not a really religious person per se. I always have this issue of speaking on Christ in front of people who don't have any background in church.
Yeah.
I see you three, I say you three because I'm new here today, and you guys speak on it very easily. It's so easy. It's like saying the word "the." It's so common for you guys. But immediately when you guys say the word God and Jesus, like there's a part of me inside that says, oh, that's going to be a weird topic of conversation. And then I look around and everybody's like, oh, yeah. And you have these conversations within your church and your community. Where do you think that strength comes from to be able to be so confident in that?
Well, number one, it starts with your personal relationship with God, and then it spreads abroad to the church community that you are affiliated with, because you got to be around like-minded people. So anything that you're trying to push, you got to be around people who's doing it, so you can get the language, you can get the understanding, you can create the atmosphere. So when it comes to faith, it has to be personal, and then it spreads abroad. Talking about Jesus, I didn't always talk about Jesus. I used to always talk about Jay-Z Blueprint. I used to always talk about Nas Stillmatic. I used to talk about Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah.
But when I transitioned, I had to study, because what study does, it produces inspiration. And so because we study, we are inspired, and as a result, we're able to relate or share content that we studied.
Yeah.
Which is, in this case, the Bible.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Matt, and great answer.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Loving it. Earlier when we were talking about, what were we talking about? The aliens. Matthew brought up the aliens as his hot topics.
Yeah.
Pastor, what do you think about these aliens?
This is, I've seen something on Facebook about that. I didn't really go deep into it because I do know it's a lot of Photoshop, a lot of things that we're doing with technology, with AI and so forth. I kind of stick to the scripture where it says that, and God made man in his image and after his likeness, knowing that we are the crowning point of his creation, the peculiarity of his personhood. So I don't believe that God created anything on planet Earth that will be of that magnitude, because I think the MO of the devil, if I can say that on here, is to distort the original intention and plan that God had for humanity. And he does that by distorting character, distorting the image, distorting the personhood, distorting the purpose of an individual. So to say that aliens came from God is a distortion to his original plan for humanity.
Wow.
But okay, so now they're saying the government's saying we do have an alien body. Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
And we do have an alien ship.
Right.
Am I correct about
right.
that? What are your thoughts on that? Now, nothing's photoshopped. The government's actually saying we have this.
So assuming it's true.
Yeah.
Assuming it's true. Assuming it's true.
And people are saying from what, social media or whatnot, that it's not aliens, it's really demons. That they're back because we're end times.
And
Well, the scripture teaches us about a lot that will unfold in the end time. And I believe that we're on the precipice of seeing a lot of more things unfold.
Hold on. That was a big word. I'm gonna have to Google. I'm gonna have to Google that word.
We're on the verge of seeing something.
He's like, what porpoise? What are you talking about a
I'm
porpoise?
not preaching right now. So we're on the verge of seeing things because God is progressive.
Yeah.
God never stays still. So even when he's not doing nothing, he's probably still doing something. So I believe in times and seasons, going back to even when I wrote my book, it's times and seasons. And it's even like that with God, that he can reveal whatever he wants. Yeah. And we don't always know the reason why he does it. But to my knowledge, I don't really know too much about it. But I just try to stick to the 66 books and let God do the rest.
Come on, somebody.
What does heaven look like to you?
You?
Ooh,
come on, somebody.
Come on now.
You're going to make him cry.
He felt that one. Yeah. Yeah. I felt that one. I'm over here.
I felt that one. I felt it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well, extrapolate, please.
Extrapolate, sure.
Extrapolate.
Heaven is filled with men, women, boys, and girls that look like you and I, who have had struggles, who have had failures, who have had mishaps, who have had shortcomings, inadequacies, etc., and made a bold decision by faith to place it in Jesus Christ, and he eradicated or destroyed their sins and qualified them for heaven. So it's going to be some rappers in heaven. It's going to be some people in heaven.
Tupac's going to be in heaven.
It's a possibility.
Man, I can believe it.
It's a possibility.
I know the congregation has their murmurs and whispers, right? Everybody knows churches talk sometimes, right? There's this gossip in the pews, if you will.
Yes.
But pastors also have their pet peeves of their congregation. What is something that you've seen that people don't know that you can see as the pastor? Just you're on the pulpit. You're on the pulpit. You're looking down. Everybody, oh, look at Pastor. He got that new Dior shirt on. Yeah. Oh, did you see Pastor's new girlfriend? Did you see Pastor got a new car? And you see things too. So what are those things that you see out of your congregation that they think you don't see?
Sometimes while ministering, they're on the phone on Facebook. And then because you're Facebook friends with them and you seen when they post, you was like, okay, you were in church. That's why your head was down.
I was going to ask him, how do you know? They might be looking up a scripture.
I'm saying turn to your neighbor, and the reason you won't turn because you typing on Facebook.
You're on Snapchat.
You're on Snapchat. You're on Threads.
Social media.
Can I get a hallelujah?
Yeah.
Can I get a hallelujah?
And it's not a quote from the Bible or from the pastor. So
yeah. Speaking of quote from the Bible, is there a quote that you lean on, not lean on, but just something that really inspires you that you'd see, or like out of all the many times that you may have pasteurized, that the quote or a Bible passage that you often pick from?
My life scripture is Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 10. And the word of the Lord came to me saying, before you were born, I knew you. When you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you and I ordained you a prophet to the nations. Then I said, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I'm only a child. And God said, say not that I am a child, for you to go to every place where I'm sending you. Then the Lord reached forth his hand and touched my mouth and said, behold, I have placed my words in your mouth. Verse number 10, I have set you over the kingdoms and over the nations, to root out, to pull down, to destroy, to build, and to plant. That's Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 10.
The way he recited it, man.
Bro, I was like,
Chicago needs that, man.
Yeah.
So
Chicago
whenever
needs
I'm feeling eerie or something's going on, I just say that verse out loud.
So Pastor, who do you go to? We know you go to God automatically. That's the first thing that we should be doing as Christians and believers. When you need to talk to somebody.
I have a couple of accountability partners that I go to, trusted voices, men and even women who not only preach it but live it, and I call them safe places that I go to, and I can vent, I can be transparent, I can be me, I can be a human. Because sometimes as a pastor, people don't give you a chance to be human.
Oh yeah.
They think you read your Bible 24/7. You don't bleed. You don't have challenges. You don't have shortcomings. And so we've done a disservice to pastors by putting them on pedestals, and then when they fall, we disperse.
Yeah. Wow. You know, that resonates with me personally. I feel like, I don't know, my algorithm, you know, everybody has an algorithm on social media and the internet. All of a sudden, you know, my algorithm has been talking a lot about manhood, fatherhood, Father's Day. You know, what's the worth of a man? And it kind of sounds like that. It sounds like everybody kind of puts man, which leads to my next question. What is your stance or what is your take on, I don't want to say the role of a man, but I guess manhood in general as it speaks to you?
When I think of manhood, I think of one who God has given the ability to lead, as it relates to being a provider, a protector, a prophet, a priest, one who will govern his affairs really well. Because until you govern your own affairs, you can't govern your house, you can't govern your wife, your children. And so that's what I see when it comes to manhood. You got to be influenced by God to be the man that he has called you to be. And that look different for each individual. This is once again why you shouldn't compare your walk and your experiences with somebody else's.
So it's the fortitude, or not the fortitude, but it's the ability to be strong in your own faith. It's internal first.
Yeah, it's internal. It has to be internal. That transformation has to happen on the inside. And the reality is, Dr. Miles Monroe said, you're born a male, but you have to develop to become a man. So some people are just males. They never grown to be a man.
And I feel that Chicago does suffer from a lack of, I don't want to say manhood. I just feel like that sounds so sexist to say Chicago lacks, you know, a wave of manhood. You know, men not teaching boys to be
Leaders.
men.
Yeah.
To be leaders. What do you think Chicago needs? If Pastor Keys has the answer. What would you say? I know, of course, you're going to say I don't have the answer, but what would you say it is if you had to choose?
Because I grew up where I grew up, I grew up, obviously, I'm black and we're Puerto Rican. So those are the two ethnic groups that I've seen suffer the most when it comes to the lack of male identity in the home for several reasons. I think it's a lack of unity. And it starts with the church. I think we have to make sure that the leaders are connected, and then it spreads abroad. Because whatever God is going to do, he's going to do it with his church first, and then it'll spread to the politicians, it'll spread to our police officers, it'll spread to the fire department, it'll spread to our communities. And I think we have to be able to come up with a strategy, what I call a triangle, where we have the church, we have the police department, and we have the community. And on each particular sphere or point, you have leadership. I think the reason why Chicago is the way that it is because it's lacking unity in leadership. It's not lacking leadership, but it's lacking unity. And where there is a lack of unity, there's a divide.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I have this theory. I have a theory, and I think you fit the bill, Pastor. I think you fit the bill. I think
You
that
sure?
if I can give you any single topic, especially since you have a rap background, if I
Of
give you
course.
any single topic, you can connect it to some message.
Yeah.
Some message
Yeah.
about Christ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a word that I wrote down a couple words here. I'm gonna throw a word up into
Come
the
on,
air.
Matthew.
What I'd like you to do is grab that word and mold it into your I don't know what the proper term is. A sermon, I guess it would be
Yeah.
sermon, right?
Yeah.
Into a message.
Ooh, that's good.
A sermonette. I like that.
That
all
is
right.
good.
So the first one is chicken noodle soup.
Whoa.
All right.
Chicken noodle
We're
soup.
gonna give you a second. Is that okay? Can we give him a second to think about, mold something over, and tighten it down to a nice little deliverable ball of sermon for us.
I love this today. I love this.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 says,
Oh,
Ask,
here we go.
and it shall be given. Seek, you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. I want to talk about for a moment, pick up your spoon.
Come on.
Pick up your spoon.
Preach.
This is a moment where we can look through history and see that soup has been such a favored appetizer for so many people. We can go back to the 50s, we can go back to the 60s, we can go back to the 70s. We could even go back to the 80s. Soup has always been in style. And I want to challenge us this morning that we don't just stick to the chicken noodle soup, but we have tomato soup. There are a variety of soups that we can choose from that can help you reach the apex of your health.
Wow.
Because God is not just concerned about the spiritual and the emotional and the financial and the parental, but he's also concerned about the physiological. He's concerned about your physical well-being. He wants you strong. He wants you healthy. He wants you wealthy. And he wants you to be in that place where he so desires.
Basketball.
Put your hands together. Oh, I'm sorry. Put your hands together for that. Good one.
That was a good one.
Go ahead, throw that one.
Yeah, I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna throw it. They're supposed to be basketball.
Psalm 133 verse 1 says,
He brought the passage out.
how beautiful and how blessed it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. It's like the oil that ran down Aaron's beard all the way down to the skirt of his garment. I want to talk about the blessed connection of being unified. When you look at basketball, you think about a team sport. There's no I in team, but there's an I in win. And when you begin to practice, you don't have the season in mind. You have the championship game in mind. And so practice is only a prelude for what you are preparing for in the future. And so as we jaywalk through the text, Jesus and his disciples are together, and he's talking about the importance of being unified, that one can chase 1,000 and two can chase 10,000. And so when we look at the text, we're understanding the importance of being unified, that God does not want you to be alone. As a matter of fact, he says that he'll take one trip to go get the one and leave behind the 99. You could be that one, and you may not be where you need to be because you are isolated and you're not in community.
Wow.
Easy. The man is a wealth of knowledge, and he didn't even research. He just that was just what's within him. That was within him.
From the gut.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good stuff. So, Pastor, is anything your church right now, our church,
Yeah.
is doing right now that people should know the next couple of months? We're in August, the beginning of August.
Yeah.
Anything coming up in September, October?
Well, you know, in October we have the men's retreat in Wisconsin. We're looking to get about 400 men. So we spread that. We have the Glory Explosion, the Mark Men's event, I think August 18th, 6:30 HP campus.
Correct.
So it's going to be an incredible time as all of the men come together to worship.
I saw Flava was going to be there.
Flaco Navaja is
Yeah,
going to be there. Yes,
yeah,
he will be.
yeah.
He will be doing a little skit for us.
Yeah.
Putting it all together for us. I reached out and he's showing love.
Nice.
He's showing love. So
That's the flavor.
Yeah, that's the flavor. That's the flavor.
that's good stuff. So one more, just because I can't let you go without it, because I'm just interested in knowing what your thoughts are on AI.
I think we embrace the progressive nature of technology, but we cannot allow it to consume us, where we become so dependent on it that we excommunicate God out of the equation. I think it has its place, but we just can't allow it to consume us to the point where we're totally dependent upon that and not Him.
That's good.
Good. So, Pastor, this is the ending of this show. Let me bring this with me over here. There you go. And I just want to tell you that you, sir, have flavor.
Oh, slap your mama. I was coughing all last night because my daughter used too much of this while she was cooking.
Oh, so you use it already? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm using it, but
Can you show that to your camera right there?
yeah,
I'm trying to get monetized. Slap your mama.
you see that?
There you
Yeah.
go. So you have flavor. We appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you all. I
Pastor,
appreciate
can
it.
you pray us out?
Sure, man. Father, we thank you for this moment. Father, thank you for my brothers who have come together. Lord, I pray a special blessing over Flava Podcast, and as they continue to connect internationally and nationally, Lord, that you will give them flavor and favor with both God and man. Strengthen them, empower them. Let them know that they are empowerment specialists that have been called for such a time as this to change the trajectory of others' destiny and place you on the forefront. In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
So right now it's about our time for our segment. We don't. JJ's not here, and I forgot to tell Lion to have a bless up. But if you have a bless up, you want to bless somebody up, you can do that right now. off the top of your dome, whoever you want to bless
What
up.
is a bless up? What do you
A
mean?
bless up is a community or a person or an organization that is doing something great for the community.
Oh, okay. Cool. I got you. I want to give a big bless up to my homegirl, Graciela Guzman. She's doing amazing things in the northwest side of Chicago. She's been working with a lot of political campaigns, Jesse being one of them, one of the previous participants on the show or guests on the show. She's working with Miss Ramirez as alderman. Ramirez just left recently to take a position, I think, with the mayor. As a matter of fact, she worked with the mayor as well and their campaign. And right now, the thing I love about Graciela, she sings in our band. She's a powerhouse on stage, but she's completely committed to what she's doing in the community. And she's always online, always pushing her agenda, positive agenda on social media, really enlisting the help of her comrades who are on social media. Hey, I need $500 to get this immigrant family housing for the week. I have throwing my Cash App, and she does it. She has pictures, she has the receipts. So I'm in complete awe of her, and just want to tell her a big shout out to her. And if anyone knows her or can add her to assist in any way for the immigration, for the recent uptick in immigration here in Chicago, that'll be awesome. Just look her up, Graciela Guzman with a Z. Guzman.
All right. So bless up, Graciela.
Bless up.
Bless up.
There
Bless
you
up. So JC, what is your positive note?
Yeah, really quick. Man, one thing that Pastor Keys has told me before that always stuck was the power of sound. That's something you've emphasized before. Because when I started praying and stuff, when I started learning how to pray, I could pray all day in my head. But you taught me the power of like saying it out loud. Because, that's how, in the beginning, though, was the word. So it all starts with sound. And I think this ties into it. One day I was just in the spirit asking for a word. And I saw it visually. The Holy Spirit said, the blessings you seek are just outside of the comfort you refuse to walk away from.
Wow.
Love that.
So that's, yeah.
Wow.
Learning to be step into that realm of discomfort, that's where a lot of the things you're looking for is going to be at. Yep. So that's all I'm going to leave you with, short and simple. Pastor Key said it all today already, man. You carry the load for us, bro.
Man, bless y'all, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm loving today. I'm loving that Matthew Lion Mantavo was here with us.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, guys, man.
Oh, man, it was much love. We hope that you come back.
Oh, man, if we have more people like Pastor Keys here, it's going to be such a
Man, you're
cakewalk.
phenomenal, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And let's put our hands together for Pastor Stephen Keys.
Appreciate y'all.
This is Flava. We are out.
We done.